This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in Logstash you need to be pro. Why need to be pro in this? So let me remind you on the flow of this. So what we are doing, beats is sending the data to Logstash. Logstash is sending the data to Elasticsearch, and Elasticsearch from Kibana is taking the data. Correct now? So this is the flow. So this is the focus of today this class. I'll check what I have covered in the Elasticsearch, and accordingly, if some sessions got missed out, I will cover in the next session. So today we are focusing on this. Then we'll have one class on this, and then followed by we'll have a 2 to 3 class on this. Okay. So this is the way we'll get it. By the way, did we set up the complete ELK stack? How can we set it up now? All of you?
I have installed Elastic.
No. Did I set it? Showed you that ELK complete stack?
No.
No.
I think we have only 1 or 2 classes. I think.
Okay, I'll go through that and let you know. Okay, so and this is the stuff. So now let's focus on this component. Today we'll have to complete this. So let's get started. So hey, I think once we have one class, first class you might have this one, no? Complete ELK, don't you? Because that class was not for you guys only, for everyone. What do you think?
Yes, it was for everyone the first session.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think ELK might have been done. Okay, I'll just check that. Okay, so here let's focus on Logstash. So what is a Logstash? So I think we probably might have discussed. Logstash is basically for parsing. Parsing means whatever the unstructured data you send, we have to bring into the structure. You give me bits, give every sort of data, every sort of logs. We have to give the structures to that logs line. Why we need to give a structures to log line? Because if everything you push it to Elasticsearch, Elasticsearch is storage. So you will have a bad data, bad schema, bad mapping, everything will have a bad ways to store it. Then it will be very difficult to go ahead with it and searches. Because yes, you can store anything, whatever you want, but results will not be aligned when you query, when you searches and stuff like that. So to have a right searches, right output, structured output, you have to parse this every lines of log. Now when I say parsing, please understand this way. It can be anything. It can be changing some lines. Okay, changing entire lines, you can say, or adding some fields, some extra fields. Okay, it can be editing some fields, and we call it transformations. Okay, we call it transform. So some mathematics you can apply over there, mathematics, and you get some predefined values stored in Elasticsearch. You can delete also some lines and so on. There's so many parsers are available which can help you also to get this work done easily. Okay, so this is the something which we are discussing. This is very important. Each lines can be transformed, can be added, can be edited, can be deleted, can be processed, can be analyzed. You can do that. So how can you do that? Logstash. That is what I am discussing today. So Logstash is a data collection engine, and it has many ways to ingest that and enhance or modify and forward to Elasticsearch. By the way, Elasticsearch is not the only one where it can forward. Don't think that way. From Logstash, you can send it to any storage as such. Okay. But in our session, we are learning ELK. So we are focused on Elasticsearch only. So typically this is governed as an input, filters and output. Means Logstash will take input, apply the filters, we call it parsing, filters, whatever it is, and then send that filtered lines to the output. In our case, it's a Elasticsearch. So Logstash dynamically ingest, transform, and ship your data regardless of format or complexity. Derive structure from unstructured data with Grok. So Grok decipher geo coordinates from IP address. So what is Grok? So Grok is one of the most popular filter available in our domain. So Grok is not something which is available only in the Logstash. Any parser which you go, you can use that Grok. So Grok is one of them, but we have many. So anonymize and exclude sensitive field. Sometimes what happens, I don't know whether you know or not, but many organizations, they have a policies like you should not expose certain kind of information to the log storage unit. Something like a ticket ID, token ID, OTP ID, sensitive information like certificates, API token, some sort of metrics for the organization such as number of sales, this, that, and all kind of things, because that can be misused by many engineers, right? So how do we do that? Those are the sensitive data for any organizations. So before sending and storing in Elasticsearch, and once you store in the Elasticsearch, that can be queried by any engineers in your organization. You want to exclude that data, sensitive field, or transform something else, so you can do this. So these are the three things which we have. So ingest data of all shapes, size, and sources. Yes. So that's step number one, input. So Logstash ingests all data and transform it in a way which you are applying the filter. Okay. So data is often scattered or silos across many systems in many formats. What does that mean? I'll put it in a simple way. Let's say, you know Apache server, right? All of you.
Yes.
Yeah. So Apache server, if you look at this, you have hundreds of Apache server, not one. So each Apache server will have a certain information such as whose specific information. That's one thing. Now let's say if you're running application across the geography, that's a different time zone. So Apache server will have a timestamp also different. Let's say USA timestamps they use in different way. IST timestamps in a different fields, different things. See, data is same, okay, but the format is different. So that is what we are talking about. The same Apache, but different format, different locations scattered. So how to bring in line? So while searching, you will have all the data in one direction. So yep, Logstash supports a variety of inputs that pull in event from the multitude of common sources at all the same time. Easily ingest from your logs, metrics, web applications, data stores, and various web services, all in continuous streaming fashion. Continuous streaming fashion is, we call it pipeline. Okay. So if you have covered the Jenkins session, so there also we create a pipeline. But there we have a CI pipeline. But here we create a pipeline for filtering. Okay. So automatically it can be created also. So yes, you can ingest your logs that we are doing in this session, but the things which we are not doing in this session is metrics. Metrics such as, let's say, you can get the metrics from the Prometheus or many many tools which we have like an Nagios, and web applications also you can store, filter, and process. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yes,
Yeah.
Raj.
Yeah. So step number 2, we have to filter. Filter means, yeah, same thing. We need to know what kind of filtering we want. There are a hell lot of filters that are available. I'll show you that. Hell lot of. You need to know what you want. First of all, probably when we look at the system level, we don't look at the lines of code. So look at the lines of log of USA and lines of log from India, and see what you want to filter it out. Blindly, nothing will work. You have to use with some logic, right? So you can't say simply, okay, I'll write one line of code, one line of entry in the transformations pipeline file, and everything should work as it is. No, there's lots of work involved. You have to study the pattern. You have to study the what are the logs you are getting in that log files. You want to transform. It's like a detailed study which you have to do. So yes, here in the during the filters, parse and transform your data on the fly. So as from the source to store. Store means in our case Elasticsearch. Source means it can be system application. Logstash filter parse each event, each log, each line. Identify named field to build structure. So some of the tools which is well known actually, like everyone understand the Apache log, CPU log, system log basically. But some of the times it's not understood. So yes, filter
Yeah,
parse each.
Rajesh, sorry to interrupt you. So suppose the data is not fixed length, it is in variable length, and pattern is also not fixed. Means there are different setup data. So how it will match? Means so the line number, column, everything is random.
Okay, so how it will match means see, it's very simple way to put it up. What is this session? Okay, so here this is your file. Okay, and
Yeah.
this is processing unit.
Mhm.
This is a storage. Okay, processing unit means parsing unit, filtering unit.
Yeah.
So this guy will read that line number 1, line
Mhm.
number 2. We have 3, 4 lines we have. So first they
Okay.
will read one line,
Mhm.
filter it, filter applied,
Mhm.
send to the logs, Elasticsearch. After
Mhm.
that second line
Mhm.
stored in. So that way, whatever that this logic applied here. So each line of the logs is processed.
Mhm. Okay.
It's
So
not
it
a
will go
file here,
line by line.
line by line. And let's say you say no, 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 don't read from one line, read for the third line. You can tell this guy. Parsers, you can tell which line to read from that. You want to read from the last line also, you can do that. Many things you can configure it.
Okay. Even if the data is in different column, okay, it
Column
can match.
means here
Column means
one, two, three, four. This is called
yeah,
field. Okay,
yeah,
field.
yeah.
So as per the fields, whatever you would say, okay, there's a name, age, and let's say city, and some pin code. So
Mhm.
now let's say this is a pin code, or let's say
Mhm.
someone writing
Mhm.
20,
Mhm.
someone is writing 20.5,
Mhm.
someone is writing 31.6.
Yeah.
So this is a float, right? This is
Mhm.
also float, but this is
Mhm.
integer. So now you can
Yeah.
say, hey, I want to store all this line as it is, but this I want to transform it each. So what should be done? All the line it should be in the integer one. Okay. All the lines, let's say there is one incident what has happened. Everyone fill the data 2 years before. So right now I'm only 18. Trust me, I'm 18 right now. Okay. But someone asked me 2 years before the data 16. Okay. So at that time I fill the data. If you look at the data now, as per the age, right now my real age 18, but as per the data is showing 16, right? Why? Because the collections are a long time before. Yeah. What we'll do, you'll the data. So one case which I said, you can convert this into integer. So you'll have a integer age only stored in the Elasticsearch, or sometime you transform whatever the age plus 2 and then stored in the Elasticsearch. So this kind of filtering, as I said, right, filtering, parsing, transforming, editing, deleting, I said very simple way. So you can do whether each line, each column, each field you can do.
So even if the this and the file is variable length and the position is not fixed, suppose pin number is in second column or second field,
Pattern
and
matching, pattern matching.
okay,
You can set that new field out of it. You say, okay, let's do one thing. Let's discuss this. Pattern matching can be used. So here there's a line. There is a line, uh, and here sometime this line is here, and sometime this line is here. So now something here. So this place is not fixed. So what to do? So you have to. That's the reason I said you need to look at the pattern of this and delimiter of this. Delimiter means how this each field is separating from others. Okay. So separator, that's called delimiter. So when you have a delimiter and then you look at the pattern, and whenever you pattern, that pattern only you set this in the some column, and this only you store here in this Elasticsearch. This is a Logstash.
okay, okay, got it.
So every parsing you will do that, because line you will get as it is till the Logstash. Whatever you can do with the line, you decide. Maybe what you can do, you can parse this, and create in a linear way. Okay, put it in a linear way. So it's always this field and then stored in the Elasticsearch and get it. Got it?
Yeah, yeah, got it.
So that's a parsing you are doing here. So yes, as data travel from the source to store, Logstash filter parse each event, identify named field. See, identify named field to build structure. Same thing as you were asking. Identify named field to build structure and transform them to converge on a common format. It's the same thing you are discussing. For more powerful analysis and business value. Logstash dynamically transform and prepares your data regardless of your format and complexity. Derive structure from the unstructured data with Grok. Grok means it's one of the parser which basically give you the structure from the unstructured data. There is one more parser which we have, a decipher geo. So decipher geo coordinates from IP address. Anomalized PII data, which is another parser, exclude sensitive field completely. Okay, so many things has been exist actually. You don't have to write manually, but understanding is important. Okay, it's not like I'm asking you to write us pattern matching regular expression. These are available already. You have to identify what you want. Is overall processing independent from the data source, format, and schema? So if you see that these are the Grok is one what is it? Are you able to see my screen, right? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, sorry, I thought my internet is off. So Grok is one of the parser. So it will bring the unstructured data to structured data. You see that. GeoIP is another parser, which will add some, IP address and time format and all stuff like that to your data. See, they added fingerprints date and stuff like that. So these are the you can use. Output, yes, it can be anything as such. Output, it can be console also, it can be stash d also, syslog also, Elasticsearch also. You can send it to cloud also, some cloud like AWS and all. So choose your stash, transform your data and stuff like that. So while Elasticsearch is our go-to output, that open up opens up a world of search and analytics possibilities. It's not only the one available, variety of output available and getting. So these are the three stages which we have. So look at this in detail. Input, where you do the processing, transforming, adding, deleting, all this thing, and output. It's very simple. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So input is meant from where that Logstash will read the data, probably beats in our case, but it can be from anywhere else also. Filter, hundreds of filters we have. Your real work will be done in the filter. Don't get scared right now because this depends on the requirement. Let's say first time what you will do, I'll tell you the experience, my experience. First time I set up a ELK stack. In ELK stack, Elasticsearch, I got unstructured data. So many people, we had a discussions on the team, and then they say, hey, this data is not there, and we are not getting USA data, you're not getting Amsterdam data. Then we started working on the filters. Then we started reading the each logs of what we are getting unstructured data. Then structured work, then transform it, then filter it, then remove. Everything is a gradual process. To get this stability done, it will take at least 3 to 6 months of your stable for the data you are getting from the system log data. To bring in the stable stage, it probably will take, because it's a gradual learning. In one day you don't know what exactly you want to do that. So people will complain saying that, okay, I'm not getting this data, I'm not getting that data, I should be this format, I should be having this format. So based on that, you can keep tweaking the filters, and that is how you can search. So everything in Elasticsearch, whatever you should have, is a structured process transform, which can be easily searched and used in the business. So it's like gradual process, and output, of course, Elasticsearch. So now what are the plugins available for it? So out of box can read Apache logs, log4j files, Windows event log, and more. What is that? Out of, as I said, right? Windows log, everyone understand that. Apache log, everyone understand that. Tomcat log, everyone understand that. MySQL log, everyone understand. Log4j log, everyone understand that. So for that, this is built in the Logstash form, out of box solution. But many times it cannot be understood. For example, your application logs. No one can understand the logs except your team, right? Don't you think so? Correct? Hello?
Yes.
So for that, you have to use the filters and stuff like that. So dozens of filters are included by default also. So included filters means what? It's like some script will run on each line. Don't take this filters plugin concept out of box. These filters are script which will run on each line and give you the transform the data. Are you understanding, Amit?
Yes.
Yeah. So dozens of filters are included by default. Look at this here. There's a two filters, which is these are the default filters. Okay, graph filters and GIP filters. Earlier also I was discussing. So these are the, you see that separator. Look at the separator. So here you have a one field, two field, three field. And here the interesting thing is separator is space also. If you look at it carefully, and then hyphen also. Are you seeing that? Where is the space separator, and that's called delimiter. Are you able to understand?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So now there is a three field. Now how do we transform this three field to as per your desire? So when you apply grok filter, what will happen? Your IP address get transformed, and grok filter you got transformed to the same IP address, but region got added here, and GeoIP filter got adding that. So see that here, what additional information you got. See, earlier I had IP address only, and I had this timestamp or whatever it is, and the resources. Now you have a lot of things. You have IP address, time zone, latitude, continent code, city name, region name, locations, postal code, longitude, region. This is the power of the filter. You do not do anything yourself. You just apply this graph filter, and these are the additional information. That means if you want to know, okay, from this traffic which you got it from Apache, it's Apache log, okay. So which city it got from? So it got from Buffalo. Which region? So Newark. Okay. What is the postal code for this? This is the one. So are you understanding all of it?
Yes.
But the latitude is also there. So if you are trying to steal money from, if you're trying to steal money from some, let's say, from your home and trying to hack it, and the government detected that you are trying to do that, they will immediately ask for latitude. Okay, IP address, latitude, and within 10 minutes, police is in front of your gate. Correct? No? Latitude,
Yes.
longitude. So this is the power of filter. So by the way, Amit, this is a new information. I don't know whether you are in India or not, but you should not share your Aadhaar card also nowadays. Government has displayed the guidelines. So you should not give the Aadhaar card, because Aadhaar card also, that the card which you get it had lots of hidden information for your PAN card, bank account, and many other stuff you have, hidden information. So if hacker they want to trace it, it's very easy to do that. So there's one mask Aadhaar card we have it, which government of India has launched last month. You should share.
Yeah, master Aadhaar card.
Yeah. So lots of things are there actually. Let's say I don't know whether you know or not. This this ticket, air flight ticket, that
Yeah.
has some hidden code. So that hidden code can be used to read your bank account also. I mean, they will not able to reach that access and all, but they'll come to know which bank account, which card number, all this thing you have purchased. So it's like that. So lots of things can be transformed. So now let's look at some of the inputs, plugins which are available. For the time being, we are using only beats. We are not going for anything else but discussions. You can look at this here. Azure, CloudWatch, beats we discussed. We'll have one sessions on that. CouchDB, Dead, Elastic Agent also has recently launched. It's not Elasticsearch, it's agent. Elasticsearch also can be a source of it. Pi, Gandizilla, Gelf. So if you look at this here, pretty large list actually. Okay. So don't think Logstash only you can use it for the ELK stack. You can use anywhere wherever you parse. Let's say any other products also you can use Logstash for. So these are the input things. Okay, again same thing here, pretty long list. Now let's look at the filter which is available. So this is important for us. Filter, and here you have a filter. See here, a lot of filters you have, right? One of the filters which I was discussing in the slide is this one. So exactly what exactly doing? Parses unstructured event data into fields. Getting points?
Yes.
So if you want to add some geographical information, I talked about it. See, GeoIP adds, it's adding that some more field, geographical information about an IP address. So if you give IP address, they will give you complete information about it, because every IP address is coming from the fixed location. Every city, every zone and all, it's a fixed location. Okay, so like that you can look at this filter. This is a real your time you have to spend. Age filter. Calculate the age of an event by subtracting the event timestamp from a current timestamp. Alter bytes. CICIDR. You check the IP address against the list of network blocks. Cipher, clone, CSV. This is important for you. Parse comma separated value data into individual field. So when you have a CSV file and you want to convert it into the individual field in Elasticsearch, you can use this one, CSV. Date, D dot, dissect, DNS, drop, elapsed, Elasticsearch, environment, extra numbers, fingerprints, GeoIP, grok, HTTP, this one. Provide integration with external web services, REST APIs. And so you see that hell lot of filters are there. So I told you, right, it's very difficult to just remember everything. So once you have a output and then it's not matching with your desired results during the search on Elasticsearch, then you will work with it, saying that, hey, this data is coming confused with the confusion. This is not structured data. This is duplication is there. How can we work on it? So that is where you will check this out and get you there. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah. For Logstash, Elasticsearch running is not required, right? It can run independently.
No. So Elasticsearch is output. You don't need to output. You can see on the output. Just now I'll show you. You can show on the console itself. Console means your screen itself. Okay. So I'll just show you this in the next topic. So now filter plugin. These are the things. And now it's output. So output plugin, in our discussion, we are using Elasticsearch, but it can be hell out of it. It can be a screen also. So let me show you screen means. Screen means.
It can be any file, right?
No, screen, output of your screen. Here, see.
STD out, yeah.
STD out. Okay. That means you are running Logstash on the command line, not in the background, and you give some input through the pipeline, and it will show you that parsed file on the screen also. Okay. Okay, but yeah, for our sessions, we'll send it to Elasticsearch. So here, these are the output plugins where after the transforming the logs, where it is in boundary. Many of these tools I don't know, but CloudWatch, probably it's AWS, I know. CSV we know, Datadog we know, Dynatrace we know, Elasticsearch anyways we know. Email I know, but I have never used it. File you can also output to the file. See here. Google BigQuery, I think Google guys, GCP guys. This I know. Graphite I know. InfluxDB I know. So Kafka, and what is this? Lumberjack, I never heard about it. Loggly, Metric Catcher, never heard about it. Nagios I know. PagerDuty and all. RabbitMQ. So look at this. These are the output. S3 also, Amazon S3 you can store. SNS, AWS SNS. Here output. Syslog, Timber, UDP. Okay, and all this thing. Jabix also.
Input, yeah, sorry to interrupt, Rajesh. Input can be from any kind of server, web also we can receive input, right?
Yeah, input anything which is mentioned here, supported here. Yeah, HTTP. It can receive from the HTTP also.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so this is the output. So pretty long list available, but for ours, it's Elasticsearch, focus on it. So same thing. Okay, so now we'll have to have demo. Before that, let's understand some of the things. So did you install the Logstash, both of you?
Yeah, I have installed, but it's in Windows machine.
Go for the Linux, that's better. Okay. So in Logstash, more or less is understanding, because if you'll do that, it'll be good for you. So this machine I created just 30 minutes before, just for you guys only, because earlier it was mixed with other stuff. I was getting lost with the different trainings, different deliverables and all. So stuck.
For Windows machine, that when I'm sending that commands, like double quote and etc. On the single quote, it is not taking single quote. I have to give backward slash like that.
Okay, what happened is this machine got stuck. Close. Are you able to hear me, right? Hello.
Yeah, we can see
Okay.
that.
Just hold on for a second. I think my machine got stuck. Okay, leave this machine as of now because I want to show you Linux, but okay, let's try one more time, last time. Okay, leave it. So let's go for Logstash here. So let's rename this. This in Windows, okay. Java should be installed, so I have installed already, and Logstash 8.3. Okay, so now this is the Logstash file for the back. This is for Windows actually, and this is for Linux. Okay, so go for it. Command line and here, and you can run just like this. And when you run, basically, you should not just like this. You should run, but when you run, there's a configuration file is get loaded. So there's a 2 configuration file which you have. Look at this. Are you able to see my screen, right? And this is the one also you see. These are 3 files you should know very well. So Logstash YAML. If you want to configure Logstash, then this is the file you should use. Logstash YAML file. Configuring of Logstash. Multiple options are available for it. Okay. Setting file in YAML. So this is the Logstash file. So here node identity, data path. So by default, this is the path actually, data directory, which is here, and pipeline setting here you have. Look at this very carefully. So this ID is in ID of the pipeline. ID is main and number of worker for transforming. So here you see the set the number of worker that will in parallel execute the filters plus output stage of the pipe. So what is the number of worker? You are setting 2. So this default the number of host CPU cores 2. How many events of to retries from the input before sending to the filter and worker? Event number of lines. So pipeline batch size is 15. How long to wait in milliseconds while pulling for the next event before dispatching an undersized batch of filters? 50.
What is
Force logs.
pipeline batch size?
Pipeline means take the input, process it, send to output. This is called pipeline.
Okay. And batch size? What is
Batch size
pipeline?
means lines of number. You see that? How many event? Event means lines of log. Okay. To retrieve from input. Input means bits before sending to the this one. So size is 125 lines at a time. You can read. These are the default value. These all are commented.
So total 125 input plugin we can use.
125 lines event size can be used. You can use any number of plugins, but maximum lines at a time will be used 120. Got it? So how long to wait in milliseconds while polling for the next event before dispatching an undersized batch of filters? Undersized means, let's say last turn you had a size 21, you processed, but how much time to wait before next processing? 50 milliseconds. 50-second, I guess it's a second. Force Logstash to exit during shutdown, even if they are still in flight events. So here you have so much of configuration. Okay, so much of configurations. Here your pipeline configuration settings, where is a path. So, and here string test and exit false true. Here this one is important. This one is important. You should spend at least 2 hours on this file. Okay, if you want to be pro in Logstash. It's pretty long file, but give you lots of information. This one we have used it. Let's say you modify the pipeline file and you want to reload by Logstash automatically, then you have to make it true. These all are false, commented. Reload interval, every time automatic reload is there. So automatic reload was commented. So just check it out here. And API settings here you have.
Config reload means?
Reload means you modify the YAML file, automatically it should be reload. Which YAML file? Remember that while running the Logstash, we were running some config pipeline file.
Okay.
Yeah. So like some of the API settings you have here. The API setting means Logstash will act like API also. So that you can also check this here. Okay. Here module settings, cloud settings, queue, you can use a queue if you have so much of work to be done. Here dead letter queue settings, debugging settings, what you want. So by default you will see only info by default. If you want to make it that log label should be fatal, error, warning, info, debug, trace, you can do that. Other settings, Xpacks basically is for the Elasticsearch related stuff. So this is a Xpacks monitoring. Okay. Here all these are Xpacks. Xpack is basically authentication, authorization, and alerting solutions for it. So yes, this file you should check it out. That means in a simple way, I'll tell you, Logstash, these are the value, whichever is you see that is set in the Logstash YAML file. What YAML file I'm talking about? This file. When Logstash YAML file. So if you want to change the behavior, then you have to change this file. Are you understanding, all of you? Charvel?
Yes, yes, I thought.
Yeah. So if you want to change the default behavior, you have to change this. Okay. By the way, you can pass on the command line also these options. It's not like this file. Command line also will work. Let me remind you. Let me remind you. In the demo, I might have showed you this line. This is the demo I might have used while ELK. So do you remember this here? I started the Logstash Linux, calling this is the pipeline file. Okay, and here I said config reload automatic. That means I want to enable automatic reload. This what you have in this file. Here it is false. If you specify it, become true. So you can make it true here also. That's not a problem. Just uncomment this and make it true. Are you understanding, Ram?
Basically, the config.reload automatic means if there is any changes in the configuration file.
This file.
Okay, this
pipeline.
This file.
Pipeline.
File automatically it is going to take that, right?
See, periodically check if the configuration has changed and reload the pipeline. Remember the pipeline. Pipeline means that pipeline means I am telling you again and again. Pipeline means the configuration of this input, output, and what is it? Input, output, and filter.
Filter. Yeah.
This is input, filter, output. So in this file, there is no input, output. This is just to configure the Logstash. Got it? So there's a lot of options which we have available. Just check it out. Okay, so that's the one file. Now the question is, what are the configuration file which we have? So last time blindly I might have installed it, and I might have showed you this filter. Okay, you see that this is a simple filter. input taking from the beats, filter doing nothing, or maybe GeoIP and stuff like that, or output this one. Here
No,
output means
it was not discussed this last time.
really. Without that, we cannot set up a Logstash.
Okay.
Without that, okay, I'll share the videos also, because I feel this should have been done in the first session itself, because I know the flow of mine. Okay.
First session was discussion about that Elasticsearch only.
ELK, the same thing.
Yeah.
So in ELK, I might have set up the beats and output Elasticsearch and filter Logstash. Without that, ELK will not set up. Anyways, we'll review that one. I'll share that after this session also. Okay. So understand that. So now next focus is configuration file. Configuration file. Okay, how do you do that? So from where you should take the configuration file? So any questions so far you guys have?
So
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm doing, let's discuss about the configuration file. So this 4 URL I'll share with you. You have to spend some time here. 5 URL. Okay, so go one by one, and it has all the materials. So this is the URL one. So are you able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Logstash has 2 types of configuration file. One is a pipeline configuration file, and one is setting file, which we call it for the Logstash. The one which I was showing you here, in here, this file is a setting file. Okay, setting file, and this file you can say pipeline file. Okay, pipeline file, you can see here the pipeline. Oh no, this is not also pipeline. This file is a pipeline file. See here you have input, filter. Sorry, output, filter is not there. Are you understanding, all of you? Hello?
Yes.
So pipeline configuration file. So here you can configure, you can create pipeline configuration file when you define the stage of Logstash processing pipeline. On the Debian RPM, whatever it is, the location of pipeline file will be here. Okay, so when you install, depends on the how you install the Logstash. I prefer typically downloading the zip file, extract it and start it. That's I prefer. But many people say, hey, I want to install through YAM or OPT. In that case, where you will look for this convert-d. Okay, this is the locations in Linux actually. But in Windows, because I downloaded the zip file, right? So I look for the config directory. That's all. Here you all the configuration files here. So this is the configuration file. You have to be pro in it, because the rest of the things is just the tools which is required to run it. Okay, so now setting file. Okay, so this is the pipeline configuration files. Okay, so you can create a pipeline configuration files when you define each stage. The log stage try to load this file. So pipeline configuration file will be ending with what? Hello? Pipeline configuration file will be ended with, hello?
Yeah.
Pipeline configuration file will be ended with
.conf.
.conf. Yeah. So tell me here in this directory, which is the configuration file? Only this one, right? Okay. So
Yes.
I understand that. Okay. So I just made it conf. This is the important one. So here you'll be directly enter this. So here you have this one. If you have some memories from the first session, I might have created this config file. This, look at this first pipeline, and this input, filter, output. And how do you run it? Configuration file for this. See.
And
So
that
this time,
configuration file we can put anywhere, right?
anywhere. Yes, yes. You can keep it anywhere. You can keep it directly also.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all. So in a simple way, this pipeline configuration file is a file which contains input, output, and filter. Simple. You can keep it anywhere. You can pass it also many ways. Let's say you will tell me, Rajesh, I don't want to pass over the command line. No problem. You can go to this pipeline.yaml file and set this pipeline configuration file. See here, you can set it up the path here. Getting my points? Look at this here. Are you understanding or not, guys? Charvel?
Okay.
Yes,
So if we are giving path over YML file, so by default it is going to take configuration from this file.
This file, yeah, Tom, Logstash, all file from this directory, which is the config file.
Okay.
Okay. Getting my points?
Okay. And if we are in command line, if we are giving the path, it will take from that path.
Yep.
Okay.
See, multiple variables are there to use. The one which I was showing the two pipeline. But here, if you see .conf, just search for it. Multiple entries. See here. This is also you can pass. Path. This one was for the multiple two pipelines. This is for the single one. Okay. So like that you can decide and do a lot of things. Okay. So come back to this one. Here, so conf file in this directory, but for me it's a different directory. Now setting file for what? So this is the file I chatted, which I told you. Any file, any behavior, if you want to change the Logstash, you can change in this file. Okay, so contain Logstash configuration flags. You can set it's Logstash. Remember, it's not related to output filter, whatever it is. It's a software itself, Logstash configuration. You can set flags in this file instead of passing the flag at the command line, which I was doing, right? Here I was doing, look at this. I was setting this -f, this option. So instead of passing it, I can go and configure that. Any flags that you set in the command line override the corresponding. This line is important. So you tell me what exactly that is. Any flags you set at line override the corresponding setting in the logstash.yaml. Means, what does that mean?
Overrides the corresponding setting. Okay.
Means what? Means
Whatever we pass in command line, that will be in priority.
So same variable you declare in this file also, and same variable you declare on the command line also. So which is having highest precedence? Command line. Simple. Okay. So contains
config.test exit.
Where is that?
In that file configuration file.
This is the one of the option which I was showing you in the YAML file. Look at this. Deleted what? Should be there. I'm not able to search for it. What? Strange. I think I deleted it. Oh, by mistake in the discussion, I deleted. No problem. I'll get it.
Okay.
Just yeah. So you were saying this option, right? This is the command. This is a config test and exit means it will check the configurations file which is here and exit that. Okay. So see if this is false, it will not exit. But if you want to exit, you can. Got it?
Okay. So if the configuration valid and exit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is the thing. Yes, any changes, again I'm repeating multiple times, any behavior of Logstash, a tool you want to change, you have to check this file. Now what exactly pipe, which is the second file which we have here. Okay, so what is this? So contain the framework and instruction for running multiple pipeline in a single Logstash instance. Means here you can set to run multiple pipelines in a single Logstash instance. Multiple pipeline means, see this, if you look at this, there's one pipeline file only I have. So this Logstash will run one pipeline at a time. But what about if you want to run multiple pipeline? What do we do in this case? So in that case, we have to use pipeline.yaml file. Okay, so how do we use it? Open up this, and here you have to see that. See, list of pipelines to be loaded by Logstash. That means list. Remember, it's a list. Guys, are you understanding, right? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
So multiple pipeline. So here in this example, all are commented, by the way. You have to create it yourself. All are commented, but here is example of two pipeline. So look at this here. There's one pipeline. So how do you start this pipeline? Look at this very carefully. Let me minimize this. See here. This is one pipeline. So all the pipeline, each pipeline, sorry, this is the one pipeline here. So each pipeline will start with -pipeline.id. That means if you want to load the multiple pipeline, then you can do that. So here what you are saying here, look at it very carefully if you have to look at this. Pipeline ID, what is the name of the pipeline? Test. How many workers is required for this pipeline? Only one. How many batch size? Only one. Remember the batch size and worker was set a little different here, default, but it will override. So batch size was, what was that? Batch size was 125 and worker was 2. But for this pipeline, only one and one will be used. So that way your system will not hang. Now, if you see this one, you'll understand this is your pipeline. Look at this very carefully. What is that? Jarvel, what is that?
It's contain input, output, and filter. It's pipeline.
Yes, that's your pipeline actually. But you know what, guys? This is a pipeline just for testing purpose. But who will write such a long line? See, my pipeline is, I'll show you a few pipelines. This is my simple pipeline is this long. You see that? So how can we accommodate that line? How can we accommodate this line here? It will become very irritated for me, right? Don't you think so? So what to do? The solution you have, look at this is the second pipeline. So here pipeline ID, another test, queue type persisted, and here instead of config string, we are saying path config, and it will read the pipeline code from this location. Are you getting my points?
Okay, so if we want to run multiple pipeline, we have to uncomment all these things. From here only we need to.
Yeah, uncomment this whole line, uncomment, it will become a 2 pipeline. And here in this location, you should be having the config file of your pipeline. And the file, the config file of this file, it can be conf and config, both you can use it. If you might have noticed, I use the conf. See here, I use the conf. See here, conf. But you can use the config also, not a problem. Config will contain input, filter, output, anything. Now, you see here, 2 pipeline. So in this directory, Logstash directory, any config directory, any file will be there. That will be valid file. They will load it and start parsing it, start processing it.
Okay, so from command line, we don't need to give any configuration file from directly.
No. This uncomment this, and by default, this file is get loaded. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the way. Now, in this, if you look at it very carefully, each option has been described very wide in detail. Look at this. What options you can have it. If you think, okay, only these options is done and I don't have many other options. No, it's not like that. What is the ID means? Name of the pipeline. What is a config string? The configuration string to be used in the by the pipeline. What is a path on config? Worker, batch size, batch delay, pipeline order, auto, queue type. Hell lot of options you have actually. See that? So no need to look at any files actually. I would request read each and every option for each pipeline. Okay. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, understand.
Yeah. So here, this is the pipeline.yaml. Now, guys, you know that the Logstash needs a Java. So if you want to modify the JVM options, this is the file you should touch. Which file? This file. Okay, and if you're using log4j, so you have to check this file. That's all. So this is the configuration file for Logstash. So let's move on. Okay, so now how to install? So again, I'll recall this. I have done this. I might have done in the previous sessions. Download, create a pipeline, and here run this file, this command. It will run the Logstash. This is the pipeline code: input, output, and filter, and it will check the configuration and exit. That's all it will do. Again, you have it. Now, if you want to automatically reload, any changes happen, so you have to change this to config reload automatic. By the way, these all options I'm telling you, you can change in the pipeline. I mean, this file also. What file? Logstash.yaml also. Okay, so you can check that one also. And now here you look at this. There's some more input. So input, they're saying here, take the input from SDDIN. SDDIN means
Input.
SDDIN means
Input,
you whatever you type on the Logstash console, that'll become SDDIN. And after processing, it will show you the same screen. Very simple, no? Look at this. Correct? No? So if you type hello world, output will be like this. Getting more points?
Yes.
Same screen. Input, same input, STD standard input, standard output. But this is just for the learning purpose. You can try it out. Now, how do we try this here? So Logstash Elasticsearch. So output, you have to select this. We have done it in the ELK session, first session might have. And output, see here. You can do this like this. Here you can select IP address, localhost, whatever it is. And one more thing, you can also in the command line of Logstash, you can use E option. So what is the E options? So basically, E option enables you to specify configuration directly from the command line. So if you see that here, look at this here. Command line, you provide the configuration. But if you look at this here, I have not specified E. So here, why E? Because of I want to provide this pipeline on the command line. So yes, understand that. Configuration file for pipeline, you can provide -f option, or you can embed in the pipeline.yaml also, or you can also embed in the logstash.yaml also. Sorry, no, not this file. What is this? Yeah, correct. So you can embed in this file also. You can path or in the pipeline.yaml also. So many places you can do that. It's not only like one place. Understand this. So this is the one. Now look at this here. Very simple command. It will work as it is. Creating one directory. Now downloading this CSV file. Okay. This all CSV file is live actually. Understand this. And after that, what you're doing, look at my screen very carefully. Downloading the here and running the Logstash, calling this CSV read file, which is here, okay, and with automatic reload. And you see that when you go to the Elasticsearch, you search for it, so you will get some output for this, whatever this file is. So this file is, you look at this here, input, output, steady out. So input is here. This is the CSV file. Filter. See here, you're filtering. What is the filter? Any idea what filter I'm using?
CSV.
So input is also CSV. Sorry, and here filter is CSV. Now delimiter is what? Comma. Look at this here. Let me show you just again. You need to understand all this thing. Where is my file? So CSV. This is the file. Look. See, this first line is header. Do you want? No, I don't want. All these are lines I wanted. If I look at the pattern, each pattern was separated by comma. Okay. So what I want, all this I want to store in the Elasticsearch in a certain pattern. First one is ID, stand, payment type, name, gender. So this is a separator, comma, skip header true means first line. Okay, skip true, and then column in the Elasticsearch. So it will give you the output, this one. By the way, it will give you on the screen also, and it will send it to Elasticsearch. What is the index on the Elasticsearch? Demo-CSV.
So do we need to mention all the columns here?
If you, let's say, these are the things, if you don't want, then some of the columns which will not be parsed here, no filter, some of the columns will not be parsed. See here, let's say I'll just put it in this way. Let's say you miss last two. Okay, think simple. Let's say you miss the last two. So in the last two, this field will be added blank, and the data will be pushed. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Right?
If we completely give the blank columns, we don't give column parameters. So it will not take direct, like, it will not copy the file because we are not doing any kind of manipulation, right?
No, you're not doing this kind of thing. This is just for see, actually this is just a cheating I'm doing. CSV file itself is there. I'm helping you to how to understand this CSV. Let's say here, you, instead of CSV file, something else will be there. Then you should try these options.
Okay.
Getting your points?
Okay. So basically, the CSV filter will convert into CSV format.
CSV format. Yes.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay.
Just for understanding purpose. Okay. So this is the stuff you can do that and input. Now, again, guys, if you look at this very carefully, this is one pattern. Input. You have a path also. You have a start position and since DB path. What exactly? So path, you understand that it's a file input. Okay. Last one, the one which I was showing, CSV. This is the file. So it will take the file from here. Start position means beginning. Beginning means first line of this code. And since DB path means you can give this path. So def null means it will store nowhere actually in the memory. So here path, start position, and says the path. Again, you see that. Look at this one very carefully. Separator, skip header true, columns, these are the one you want. Look at this one more, output, and here output also in the studio. Okay. You see that here. This is the more meaningful. Here your filter type is CSV. Separator, skip header, columns, and here mutate, you see. Mutate is basically is one of the parameters in the CSV format. CSV filter, if you read in detail, you will have a mutate. Mutate means what you are doing? Converting age which is here, last one, to the integer. I think I discussed just now. Like if any format, it will display, it will convert into integer. And here you are asking remove the field, message field at the timestamp, path, post, and purchase. So you are removing this field. So you are mutating actually, and you are transforming through the filter. Now all these options, where do you see? So this option mutate is there for the CSV, but if you go for it, you have to read their documentation. Logstash filter CSV. Each will have a different options. So it's not like one which I'm teaching you is applicable for everything. So right now I'm just talking about this CSV filter. Here it is. Now you should see that what are the options available. See here. These are the options available. Out of which I was discussing one of this, which is called mutate. Where is mutate? Here, mutate options. Okay. So no, this is the different plugins. Do you have options? Mutate, add fields you have, remove fields you have. Just a second. Okay, sorry. So this is a mutate is not a part of CSV here. See, this is a CSV is ending here. After that, on the same line, if it is processed by this, on that line, it will process mutate filter. Mutate filter is another filter. Mutate Logstash mutate filter. enter. This is another filter. Now in the mutate, you read about this. The mutate filter allows you to perform general mutation on the field. You can rename, replace, and modify fields in your event. And these are the processing orders which you have. So here in this example, you are mutating this field. So here we are calling two filters actually, filter 1 and filter 2. Now we'll say which is having precedence. So whichever you write top, you'll be having precedent. On top of that, you will use this one. Okay. So here you have a description and all stuff like that.
Remove field means it is these are the fields inside CSV or
This is the field on the top of this output.
okay. Message timestamp path first. Okay.
Yeah.
So once this filter uh, uh, worked, then after that this there will be some message field or timestamp. Everything will
Yeah.
come, right?
If you look at this, in the CSV you will be having this field. Okay, this is the one. Okay, so now this is the stuff. Now let me use some of the other. I want to show you some example pipeline code.
Rajesh, can you do it online so that it will be easy for us to
Yes, sure.
understand?
I'll show you this. Just a second. Let me run it. Just let me complete the discussion first, okay?
Yeah.
So now this location is an example of Elasticsearch pipeline input, output, and filter. So see here, input, beats, filter, grok, match, message, this one. So what we are saying here, you are converting this into the standard structure format, message. Input you are taking from this, output Elasticsearch. Here if you look at this, here index is a regular expression pattern. And you can also display output here and output on the Ruby debug means on the console. Ruby debug means log file of Logstash, because Logstash is developed in Ruby. Okay. Here input from beats, again filter, look at these multiple options, and output Ruby debug. And here input, you look at this here, file input, look at this very carefully, and filter with grok, date, and GUI. 3 filters applied here. Okay. And output to Elasticsearch. Here input from the beats, filter, and output Elasticsearch.
So input
And
from
here,
bits means uh, bits separately it will store somewhere bits.
I think I'll do one thing, because anyways, I feel that we have forgotten the first session, because in ELK first session I might have covered what is a bit. So I'll do one thing. I'll share with you. I'll just consolidate. Even I want to know what is covered, what is not covered. So accordingly, I'll take it. Okay. But one session dedicated to beats we have. So that's the reason. Usually, what I do in the first session, I cover the end-to-end flow, but I'm not sure why it's not
Actually,
covered for you.
actually, in first session that was for all the people would have, it was basic ELK and all. So
No, I'm talking about the basic only. In the first session, usually what I do, I explain this whole ELK stack, explain the beats, configure the beats, Logstash, Elasticsearch, Kibana, connect it, and then use the Kibana, and end-to-end flow. I do that. Now the question is why you are not able to recall. I'll just check that. Okay.
okay.
So my approach is something like this: cover the end-to first entire flow, then cover each component, and then followed by last one is Kibana.
Okay.
We'll check. So beats, for time being, you can, if you are not remembering the beats, remember this one. Take the file from the any files, filter it, output to Elasticsearch. Okay. Okay. Now here, this is again file, multiple filters. So I'm showing you this idea: grok, date, GUIP, output to Elasticsearch. Input again reads grok GIP, and here you output to Kafka. Look at this Kafka. Okay, here input from the beats, and only take the type Apache access file. Filter, add field. You're adding the field token, always this one. And then TCP means at the port this host port number and codec. Input from the beats, filter, adding fields. Output to where? Lumberjack. Input from file, filter nothing. Output to rebook codec. This is a log file. File, this is the output to this one. So multiple options here you have. If you check this, I have given you a lot of options. You can check it out, and then it will help you. Okay. So now let's cover one more. And here, so here, how do we have a two pipeline? So remember that I discussed about this file. I have shown you already this file, pipeline.conf. So here you can set the file to pipeline file, this file. So here there's one pipeline. There's one pipeline. This is the one pipeline. This is the second pipeline. So if you want to set it in the two file in one directory, how do I do that? So look at this here, pipeline.yaml file, and there's a two file, one file, two file, and you can put this file just like this. Here you can specify. I just create it just for the demo, like for this. Here you can specify pipeline1.config, pipeline2.config, and get it done. So like this. So this is also here filebit.yaml you have. I think you will not get it this filebit, so I'll just ignore it for time being, but you can check this out also. And one more file I want to show you here. Look at this here. So this is the example for two pipeline. You can configure it. So this is the config file location. This is the config file locations. You can use this. Okay, so overall now I'll show you the demo, quick demo. Any questions so far you have? Anyone have? All of you?
That's okay, clear.
Hello?
No, Ajay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do right now, I have modified some of the files, so exactly I don't remember. So I'll delete this. Okay, because something I have deleted, something I have deleted while explaining. So if config, what is the IP address? Leave it this, I'll do that later. If config, what is? If config is not there, IPA, okay. Command IPA the 10. Okay, so 10 is the IP address. Look at my screen, guys, all of you. So 10, 10, 10, 10. Here the screen, and SSH root at the rate of 192.168.1.10. Okay, yes. Now Rajesh 123, and here I'll go to the OPT. Okay, and for your reference, Logstash download, or you can use this tutorial also. Let me use this tutorial so you'll remember to do that also. Where is that, by the way? Go up, and here download. So copy, paste. Wget is not there, so yum install wget -y. Okay, so let it happen. The download is so slow, I don't have so much of patience, so I'll just cancel it. One more I'll try and run. Different mirror will be faster. Yep, it's faster. Again, it's become slow. We'll have to wait for it. So after these sessions, I'll consolidate all the recordings, and from tomorrow, at least 1 hour, we'll have every day. Okay, so let's finish this course this week only, because it's dragging from long actually. It's taking too much of time, not sure why. Let me cancel, close here, and start one more time. Hopefully this time different mirror will be used. No, I think the mirror is occupied with so much. So mirror is I'm using right now, this one. I mean, so automatically comes. You can modify, you can tell which mirror to use, but again, going searching for the mirror item mirror is heading. Okay. Let me also say other machines. If I have this setup, so I can use this.
Rajesh, in Logstash, we'll discuss about multi-line parsing also.
Multi-line, yeah. Yeah. You can multi-line means you can decide the number of events in the YAML file. Remember I discussed. By default, it was 150 lines at a time.
Mhm.
So it's a multi-line.
Okay.
Default. You remember that file which I showed you? Go to this config.
Mhm.
Not this one. Yeah, this one. Logstash YAML. See.
Okay. So it is by default 125.
Yeah. It's taking too much time. But no, we don't have in this. There's some problem with the mirror. I don't have any control over that, so sorry about that.